Hello, thank you for joining me today. I hope you're doing well. I know that I am. Today, I'm going to review a graphic novel by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA superstar. He's writing comic books now. Apparently he didn't want to go and do a rap album. The title of this graphic novel is Mycoft Holmes, and yes, that's taking us back to the Victorian period. Are you ready? This comic book is kind of off the heels of Kareem's brand new novel that's all about Mycoft Holmes. Mycoft Holmes is the older brother of Sherlock Holmes, a character that featured very scarcely in the original stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This comic book is very much set in a alternate universe. It starts off in the British Library. These kids are not really paying attention to their professor. Someone leaves a device. Two of the boys see it and they pick it up, and the professor's like, "Oh, your boys are playing with toys. That's so childish." And it explodes, leveling the entire place. From there, we're introduced to Mycoft, who is still in university at Cambridge. He's doesn't appear to be one who likes to pay attention, appears to be a bit kind of arrogant, playboyish, and just, really does not get on with his philosophy professor at all, to the point where that professor wants to kick him out of the university. Mycoft does have a conversation with one of his lecturers who kind of defends him and kind of smooths things over so that he can continue to stay, because we learn that he has a bit of a history of getting into trouble and not finishing and getting kicked out and all that kind of stuff. He is still very smart and very brilliant, but he's also very good looking, a bit kind of like a Dorian Gray kind of thing, where he's just an arrogant piece of shit who knows that he is, God's gift to women, basically, which is followed up very quickly by a bedroom scene. So him and this woman are having pillow talk about how great he is. And then after that, in the middle of them having pillow talk, young Sherlock Holmes comes in. And Sherlock Holmes is drenched because it's been raining, and he has a go at Mycoft because he says that Mycoft set this whole thing up, and the woman's like, "Why would you want your brother to see us in bed together?" And Mycoft replies like, "Oh, I just thought it'd be a treat for the young boy." I mean, that's just kind of really messed up. While those three are having a conversation, some other men burst in. They kidnap Mycoft and take him away. The whole time that's happening, Sherlock Holmes is just sitting there because he thinks it's a big joke by his brother. And then when he leaves, the woman's like, "What is wrong with you? Why didn't you help your brother? Da 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 da." And Holmes is just kind of like, he's a bit of a jackass. We're left with a bit of a cliffhanger. The cliffhanger is Mycoft is hanging upside down, and someone off panel says that they want to see the man who's going to save the British Empire and sacrifice his life to do so. Final panel is with his lecturer who got him to stay at Cambridge, a woman in a red dress, and then some other chap. The woman in a red dress has a crown on her head, and she's standing there like this, and she says, "We are not impressed," which leads me to believe that is probably young Queen Victoria. And that's kind of it. You're kind of left with that. I kind of feel like Mycoft Holmes is a three-pie problem. The first problem, the writing is very cheesy. The dialogue, that is. It just feels really... as I was reading the dialogue and reading how these characters were interacting at times, I was just like, ugh. Especially when it comes to Mycoft. I mean, he is kind of the main culprit. I get they're trying to make him this playboy, weird mixture of Benedict Cumberbatch with Mark Gatiss, with The Only Way is Essex kind of attitude. And it just... the way he was written just hasn't worked for me. It just... it feels like he is the complete opposite of what he is when you meet him in Conan Doyle stories. And I tend to not really enjoy stories where they change a character so much in their origins, and then you're kind of forced to watch them go through all these things to understand why they are the way they are. I've seen this over and over and over and over and over. And I've never been impressed with it. I remember like, oh, that's an amazing idea as to why they are the way they are. The second problem feels like someone said, oh, I have an idea. Mycoft Holmes ain't been done very much. How about we do a story with him? And someone goes, oh my god, that's a brilliant idea. That's a brilliant idea. I say we do that. Let's do that right now. You know, and then someone, you know, obviously chimes in and you know, was like, oh, well, how can we do him differently now? Obviously in the books he's a fat government agent. I tell you what, let's make him the opposite. They'll never see it coming. He'll be young, he'll have a 12-pack of abs, he'll be ripped, he'll have to have sex with a beautiful woman. He'll just be this kind of dashing sort of chap. What do they say? A camel is a horse created by a committee. And yeah, so to me, it just kind of feels like, you know, they had this idea, they have this celebrity name, you know, and they're trying to use that to push this forward. The third problem, the dating of it. And this is an issue that I can kind of overlook a little bit, but I think there will be people that are kind of diehard purist fans who will probably have lots of issues with the characterization of Mycoft being this kind of sexist, womanizing piece of shit, but also have problems with the fact that the dating just doesn't match what was Conan Doyle's. It's set in 1874. It's supposed to be 1880 when Holmes and Watson take up residence in Baker Street. So, you know, Mycoft he's still in university. Holmes still looks like he's, you know, in pre-university years. And I'm just kind of scratching my head thinking what's going on here time-wise. You know, I just didn't enjoy it. There's too many things that are radically different, and I think a lot of diehard fans will potentially feel the same way. I felt like they're really trying to appease a Twilight kind of crowd with this kind of stuff. And some of though the illustrating and the artwork is quite good, some of it is a little bit much. You know, there is kind of full-on boobs. You know, someone's drawn a naked woman, and apart from just looking at a naked woman, I mean, it does nothing for the story, so why is it there? So yeah, so in conclusion, Mycoft Holmes, the Apocalypse Handbook, has not kicked off to a great start. It's definitely not made me want to go pick up Kareem's book. I've not read that. Don't think I want to read that now. And I'm not keen to follow on to the next chapter and see what happens when they release the second issue of this storyline. Comment below, let me know what you think. Did you enjoy the story? Drop some of your thoughts about, you know, the story, where you'd rather have seen it gone, and we'll have a nice friendly conversation about it. But yeah, until next time, guys, see you later.